please. It's not an onerous task. Just be brave. I haven't told you yet. You don't have to come up or anything. It's just a timekeeper. That's all I need. Yeah, so when 15 minutes are gone, Dylan, just shout up to me 15 minutes. When 30 minutes are up, shout 30 minutes. Just so I don't want to keep anyone any longer than they need to. Okay? Okay. Good. You shout. Yeah. So thanks a million, folks. I'm Paul O'Donnell. I'm principal in Slane National School in Meath. I'm originally from Donegal, and I'm currently seconded to my management body. So I think I'm perhaps a bit of the wild card in that this isn't really focused on ICT, although I do have some elements of it in it. But I'm just going to talk a wee bit about sustainability in our school and what it means in practice, and I suppose what it means to me as well. I'm a pragmatist by nature, so I look at the evidence of knowledge based on the evidence of action, and that's, I know conceptually sustainability means, it almost doesn't mean anything anymore. I was listening out this week on the radio and I heard sustainability in terms of banking profits, sustainability in terms of gas exploration. So it's being used by everybody in all sorts of contexts. So just to start, by way of context, and this is background, and this is relevant later on. So I was brought up in the 1980s, just outside Donegal town. My parents had moved from a very rural area in Donegal to buy half an acre of land just outside the town. And they had 6 of us. It was like small birds do. They had 2 clutches. There were 3 of us and then our sister all together. Then they had a wee rest for a few years, and then they had 2 more. And for them, that was a small family. And my question for you is, I would like you to name a global issue or a couple relating to sustainability. There's three main areas. So I think the code is up there. Three main areas. So we have, I suppose, the natural world. Then we also have social issues arising from that. And we have economic issues that are now really important, big questions for us on the planet. So if you can you get in and can you do it? Good. Because, as I say, technology is not my strong point. I'm very fortunate to have the two lads here beforehand. They had to convince me to put the mic on. But they got it on. So if you can, and you can type it in and send it. Is it sending? Oh, yes. Brilliant. So it is working. Okay, so 30 seconds, whatever you can think of in terms of degradation of the natural world or social issues, and we have a lot of them in Ireland, we don't have to go abroad, and economic issues as well. What you have put up there, they're really big global issues, massive issues to talk about for us even now. So my question is, how the hell do you teach that to a 5-year-old or a 10? For me, I felt I had a connection with those because I felt like I was a part of the outdoor world around me. But the difficulty for me was that when I then started teaching, I realized there was no breadth and scope, but very little in the way of proper implementation due to a lack of in-service, finance, all the usual stuff. Ashton 2009, very few references to the outdoor environment. The numeracy and literacy strategy, priority in numeracy and literacy, and delay geography and history in the curriculum. And then the piece de resistance in 2015, the education plan, 70 pages, 320 actions, not a single reference to sustainability or not a single reference to the natural world. So that's that's the backdrop. And as the old quote goes, with a pair of tourists looking for directions, I wouldn't be starting from here. But I suppose recent events are catapulting things, and quite often, whether we want them or not, that's what begins to lead the change. But a study by Paddy Madden in 2019 found that 75% of teachers were teaching about the natural outdoor world using digital technology. Okay? So this is what I came back to before I started teaching. David Sobel, what is important is that children have the chance to bond with the world, to love it, before being asked to heal its wounds. And that's what I wanted for the children I was teaching, that they had the chance that I had to build that relationship. Because For whatever I gave to the natural world, I certainly got back tenfold. So I started to do that with no preparation, no planning, in a big urban school in Meath, with children who had lived a completely different life to me. I had children who were getting up in the morning, going directly to the creche, from the creche to school, from school to the creche, from creche to home, and rinse and repeat for 5 days a week. They were never outside. They had no concept of what the outdoors was. And I would say that's actually more closer to the norm now. That was a week outdoors. So outdoor learning goes from very simply teaching the lessons you were going to teach anyway, but doing it outside, all the way then to using the outdoor environment as a part of what you're teaching. And I started simply. I was doing one lesson, English, maths, whatever. We just had some tables outside. At the end of the year how much they had picked up. And over the years I started to collect more and more of these lessons and change it around. And other teachers started asking me for ideas and started to do a bit too. And then over the course of 10 or 15 years I had accumulated all these lessons. And Meath County Council said, would you be interested in putting a book together? So I did. I wrote a book. And it had 36 lessons, one for every week of the year, that could be done at most class levels, and I would lay everything on for the teacher. The background was there, how to do it step by step, how the resources, ICT links embedded in them as well for maybe introduction videos, and so people could use them. And I did it on one condition. I said, I don't want any money for it. What I want instead is that every primary school teacher in Meath would get a free copy. And they said, okay. So that's why I'm happy to talk about it. I'm not plugging anything. And so 1,500 copies they gave to every teacher in Meath. And they had another 1,000 copies left over. And they said, well, what will we do with these? I said, sell them at cost price. If people want one, they'll get it. It's not a profit-making exercise. So they said, okay. So €10 postage and packaging. And those 1,000 books are all gone too. So there is an interest. There is a desire there for people, for teachers, to use natural things outdoors. And I'm going to show you one very quick lesson, because is Molly here? And Dylan? Dylan, come with me. Because I had a task for Dylan earlier, and Killian. Is Killian here? He's gone. It's okay. Come with me, Dylan. Can you take over the nest there, please? So one of the lessons, and I always, on a Monday, I put up, this is what we need for our lesson on the Friday. Now, I'm an admin principal now. I still teach 5th class all year. I take them once a week, and I do their lesson outdoors between the breaks on a Friday. And it's generally SASE, but we use other stuff as well. So this is a simple lesson. Oh yeah, sorry, Dylan. So can you come over here with me? And it's a nest building challenge. Very simple. This is the time of year where birds are starting to build nests. So I rake some moss off my lawn, bit of grass, throw it in the bag, and I throw it out along, put the pupils in groups of 3, and they have to build a nest for a So it was funny. When I said to Killian earlier, Killian, I have a job for you. I want you to try and make a nest with all this stuff. He said, yes. So I have a golf ball. I'm going to pop it in. And level 1 is a very quiet, mild day. Level 5. You can leave that over there. Good man. So, just really simple stuff. Then we cut pieces of wool and we put them out on the fence at the back of the school for the birds to take to build their nests. And generally then the kids go home and I take it off the fence and then they come in, oh, it's gone. So it's just simple stuff you can do. You don't need anything fancy in your school to do these lessons. And a massive study. We just started putting in small wildflower meadows. We planted some trees. We put up some nest boxes. We did it bit by bit. And we have swallows coming every year. We have frogs. We put a wee pond in. We have frogs coming back. You can see that's a house sparrow chick and in the far corner being fed just before it takes off. That's the wildflower meadow at the front of the school. We had a hedgehog that wandered over. We had a range of biodiversity that came to the school that was never seen before. Our deputy, who's retired, fantastic lady, said that she had never seen goldfinches in the school, and she was there for 40 years. And we had them then when we had our wildflowers in. So again, this was all just within our own boundary in the school. We did integrate ICT and not a complete Luddite. So we had a weather station in the garden. My son is doing engineer, he's an engineer now, and he had a Raspberry Pi, and I said, okay, well, let's see how good you are now. There's that weather station, there's the Raspberry Pi. Can you get it to send the signal for our weather twice a day to our Twitter account? And he said, okay, leave it with me, and he did. And just before small break and just before big break, the weather comes up on the Twitter account. And again, we linked it to the pupils' lives. So grass grows at 6 degrees. You're not going to find it on our Twitter account at the minute because I'm gone a couple of years. I'm seconded, and a couple of things seem to go haywire, so it's not on it now. So it's a job for me when I go back next year. But grass grows at 6 degrees. So we said, if it's 6 degrees or higher, the pupils can choose to wear jackets or not when they go out for break. But if it's below 6 degrees, they have to put their coats on. So a child goes up and reads out the weather twice a day, and you can hear yes coming from the classrooms if it's above 6 degrees, because they don't want to wear them a lot of the time. But at least it gave us a rationale that when they could choose and when they couldn't. So that's just a bit of the garden. Like, it's not something out of Kew Gardens. It's quite small. We have raised beds. We have the hens. We have a pond at the front, the greenhouse. We have a area at the back. But it's part of the yard. The children can come and go in and out of it. It's not this kind of, oh, no, you can't be going in there. There's none of that. And again, some people are saying, oh, maybe this, maybe that. I say, okay, I'll ring the insurance company. If we have a garden, can they go into it? Is there going to be supervision? Yeah, the teacher's on the yard. Okay, no problem. Insurance companies never said, no. Can we put a pond in? No problem. Are you going to have a safety feature? Yes, no problem. But you get a lot of this, oh, no, health and safety. Oh, my God, we can't be doing that. No, geez, no. It's the best excuse ever. And the most sensible people in the school to talk about health and safety are actually the pupils. You stand before, okay, what do we need to be worried about? They'll tell you everything. And we have them coming in for that lesson. In the winter, they wear boots, so they have a change of footwear. They go out with jackets. I say, listen, we're going out, that's it. And now, as I say, I'm gone a couple of years, but now there's Astor outdoors happening at infants. They're all bringing in full gear, and they're doing it every day. So it's growing in that way. I think Greta Thunberg has really set in motion a massive wave from the younger generation in relation to climate change, in relation to how we use the planet that we're living on. And it has had very positive, I suppose, repercussions. And we now have climate action and sustainability is going to be a Leaving Cert subject. And there is going to be a sustainability plan in education policy. And in addition to that, we also have much more awareness, primary, second, third level. And the likes of Antashka, who have stepped in this case, and provided a framework, there will be a framework in terms of sustainability in the new primary curriculum. So there is a lot to be hopeful for, whether by accident or design. And I think the important thing now is we do have to acknowledge there is a problem. And everyone can do something. And that's maybe home, that's maybe work, and also in terms of a policy push. Because this idea of you just doing your own bit at home is not going to be enough. But if we do, and we have all of that together, then there is still hope. And the old expression, the best time to plant trees is 20 years ago. But the next best time is now. Thank you very much, folks. Cheers. So Dylan, where are you? There you go. if you'd give one to Molly as well, if you would. And there's one for Killian. That's a Rowan. It's not as interactive as an iPad, but it'll last longer. Yeah, if you would. Thank you. Cheers.
I'm not sure. On now? No? Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure how I follow that, but I'm going to have to try. I am conscious we have 10 minutes. I said I'd get you out by 4. I will get you out by 4. So I suppose when I look to a conference, I look to a keynote to set everything out, and I look to a capstone to pull it all together. My God, how we did that today. So it started with Connor and his panel of Saoirse. I think 2009, I think in Portlaoise. I'm an introvert, so I'm really not comfortable up here, but I'm here anyway, so I'm going to do it. But I remember being there, quite nervous about going because I was going on my own and I knew nobody. But actually I went there and I got talking to people. You can't do that online. When you're new, you can't do it online. You can talk to people online when you know them. When you don't know them, you can't do that. So for me, it's always in person, always, always. For an introvert, that's an amazing thing to say, but that's what it is for me. And that's why it was really important to come back. So today was an intimate affair, but I think it was a good one. It's a good place to start to build back. So we build back. I'll see you all next year. Don't know what the date is yet, but we'll it round about now. So whatever it is for next year, I'll see you back here. Thank you all. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the nicest day we've had this year, and you've come here and you've stayed, so thank you for that. There's a few thank yous, though, a few other thank yous I need to do, and that's for the background team. So there's a team of us who've become the organising committee. So there's Bernie here, there's Eugene, there's Chris, and there's Haas in the background. I couldn't do it without them. We wouldn't have what we have. I know I put up that, you know, MakerMeet and IT Systems are sponsors, but it's not sponsors really. That doesn't even begin to explain what it's about, because how many meetings have we had in the last probably 6 or 8 weeks, but in the last couple of weeks, quite a few. We don't agree on everything, but that's okay. We agree on the broad things. We kind of have a little bit of a niggle every now and again, but that's what it's all about. I'm so indebted to you for everything you do, and thank you for that. Also, my TUCS team, it wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen without them. So I might be the face of ICT in education, but there's a lot going on in the background. Thank you all. I'm forever indebted to all of you, and thank you, and I'll see you next year.
And if anyone has any ideas for integrating ICT in the outdoors, please email me at donegalpaul@hotmail.com.
Can I just share one thing? So we have a course in coding for embedded systems for teachers, and one of the tasks that we gave this year was a group project for teachers to work together to integrate or to come up with ideas around smart bedside, whatever, drone, smart office, whatever. And one of the teachers came up with an idea of putting a microbit on a beehive to detect when it is about to swarm. putting something quite straightforward to solve a real problem. And it was just about, because what he said was, when the noise level falls, it's about to storm. If you catch it before the storm hits, it's much more straightforward. Once the storm hits, try and get the back and all of that. But again, just a really simple idea that put a microphone on, 20 quid worth of equipment. And that's what it's about. What I love about what you talked about, Paul, was it's all about the simple things. It's not about the big wonky things. You know, the moss and making the nest. My abiding memory of this is probably still in there with the nest in his hand and doing the nest.
Holding on to the egg for dear life.
But that's the thing. That's what it's about. And